When they first announced that they were going to make a Shazam movie, I was like, WTF. Why would they want to bring such an old superhero which is not very popular in this day and age into 2019, especially with that ridiculous red costume? And I don't even remember Shazam that much. And of course, after we look at some of the pictures of Zachary Levi in his red costume, I was already writing off the entire movie. It's gonna be a big flop, it's just not gonna work. 2019, after seeing so many superhero movies with that great costume, how are they gonna put up a superhero in an all red costume? So guess what? I actually just watched the movie a couple hours ago at a media screening, and I think we just found our first hit movie of 2019. Why? Well, the movie is actually surprisingly over 2 hours long, and it was actually quite fun and enjoyable to watch. So I'm going to tell you why right now, yeah? Number one, they actually have a very great cast. Zachary Levi as the main character, I think they couldn't have done a better job than casting that guy as a lead character. The reason why is because, well, Shazam is basically a kid that inherited superpowers, right? And as a kid, you know, when you transform into Shazam, which is like what, 30+-year-old with superhero powers, deep down inside, he's still a kid. So in the entire movie, you actually get to watch Zachary Levi acting as a man-child, like he's 15-year-old, doing a lot of funny pranks, pulling a lot of funny stunts. So it was actually really fun to watch Zachary Levi as a man-child in this 2 hour plus long movie. So that is one great cast for Zachary Levi. And of course, you can't have a great hero without a great villain. And I was actually quite surprised that they managed to get Mark Strong to play the title villain. So as Dr. Sivana, he was actually really good as a villain. He was quite believable. He's really evil. And if you've seen his previous movie, like in Kingsman 2, he is actually one of the more established actors in Hollywood that I really like. So when having both Zachary Levi as hero and Mark Strong as the villain, those two guys were just awesome. Yeah. So, oh, just a side tip: if you are trying to Google for Zachary Levi, try and find his before and after pictures for his movie, because he got really buffed up for this movie. He's really muscular, almost as big as The Rock, I would say. Yeah. So that's the great thing about the movie. Great cast, right? Secondly would be comedic timing, and believe you me, this movie is crazy, 2 hour plus long, but it didn't felt like it because there were so many great comedic moments in the movie. And if you've seen the trailer, that kind of give you a short glimpse as to what the entire movie is going to be like, amplified by 10. There's a lot of great moments in the movie, so there was not really a dry in the movie, and I saw a lot of people laughing from the start all the way to the end of the movie. Great comedy movie, very enjoyable for geeks like me, and also if you're gonna be bringing young kids, they would love this. Screenplay, well, the movie was 2 hours long, but as I said, it really didn't feel like 2 hours long because we felt like we were part of the lead character, the young boy Billy Batson, as he is discovering his full potential as Shazam. Wondering what can he do, what he cannot do, how does he fly, and at the same time, there is that human side of him where the 15-year-old Billy Batson is actually looking out for his long lost mother. He is trying to find where is his mother because he is an orphan, unfortunately. And as for CG, well, the CG for the 7 scenes, the 7 monsters in this movie, is surprisingly okay. I wouldn't say it's bad, but they are not too bad as well. And that is because the director is Mr. David Sandberg, which insisted that he didn't want to have too many CGIs in this movie. So there's actually quite a lot of real stunts being pulled in this movie, performed in front of the camera. And if you Google David Sandberg, you realize that this guy actually made a lot of horror movies before he jumped into Shazam, which is quite funny because it's like a complete 180 from a horror movie to a full-on action comedy movie. So I'm sure we will see more movies from David Sandberg in the near future. So what is the verdict? Well, to be very frank, I really wanted to hate this movie because I thought the lead character just looked ridiculous in this the red costume. And I was right. When you see the movie, there's actually some part of the movie that actually poke fun at itself, where it says, you know, hey, cool costume, man. Everybody was making fun of him in his red costume. But you know, after a couple of minutes sinking in, I actually quite enjoyed this movie. The movie was actually quite fun despite it being over 2 hours long. I know I mentioned this many times, but because, you know, when I walked out of the movie, the first thing I thought to myself was, hey, if DC is going to make a Flash movie with Ezra Miller, I want Flash to be something like this, full on comedic fun. And I think this is what Flash movie would have been if there wasn't any production issues with the DC movie universe. So I don't know whether we'll get to see the Flash movie, but you know, at least now we got Shazam, and I do think that the DC guys now have a big hit on the hand for 2019, and it's a great run. You know, right after the very big Aquaman hit, now they have this Shazam. So Shazam in a way also kind of redefines what we think a superhero movie should be, because we are so used to watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where, you know, the superheroes, origin stories, you know, fighting big bad evil is quite serious as well. And when you go to the DC movie universe, it got even darker and more realistic. Shazam kind of turned this whole thing around on Marvel and DC's head and say, yeah, no, I'm just gonna be a funny, dorky superhero who's discovering his own potential. And it's actually quite fun and enjoyable to watch. So is there gonna be a sequel? Well, I think there's gonna be a sequel coming very soon, because if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna get Black Adam in part 2. Hopefully, you know, I don't know whether Dwayne Johnson, there's rumors that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is gonna be you know, Black Adam. But for now, I seriously think you guys should watch this movie. If you compare this with Captain Marvel, I would say this is definitely a lot better than Captain Marvel. It's really fun, very easy to get into, and you get a lot of laugh. At the same time, watching Zachary Levi playing a man-child is surprisingly funny for 2 hours. Yeah. So if you're planning to watch the movie and you already booked the tickets, just bear in mind there's going to be 2 ending credits, and the last ending credit is quite fun as well. So stay tuned for the 2 ending credits for Shazam. 1 out of 10 for Shazam, I will give it a 9. Surprisingly, it is just that fun to watch. It's really enjoyable. Okay, so that's our video review for Shazam. Let us know what you think of the movie if you have seen it. And if you have not, please don't leave spoilers in the comment section down below, and don't spoil the movie for the rest of the guys. Yeah. So thank you for watching, and please do subscribe to our channel if you're new to our channel. Thanks for watching, guys.